Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, he has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
Ron's cool expression wavers, but he seems not to be fully cognizant of what is happening. That, or he's holding himself tightly in check. Oh, that's a great idea. Rather frivolous. No, that's a great idea.
I knew you would approve, Commander.
The Queen bestows upon you a smile. With the beauty of... No, I'm not going to that path. Sorry, I'm drifting off. And then brings her gaze to rest on Darren once more.
I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the commander may remove you from your post. But I trust that you will dutifully fulfill his orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
The Count offers a bow, either as a sign of respect or in order to hide his flushed face. Only the barest quaver can be heard in his voice.
Then let's get going. May Iyomade help us.
What is most surprising, not surprising but beautiful about this game, we're already more than a dozen hours in, and some games would call this the entire content of the game. This city content. And this game is just like, yep, that's the prologue. Now have fun. I mean, we barely scratched the surface. We have no mounts, no pets, no ability, no crafting, nothing. This is merely the beginning. We spent so much time in this game already, and it's just like, now the game begins. Navia sweeps an inquisitive glance over you. So, tell me straight, how'd that brawl at the Grey Garrison end? I heard the rumors, of course. That's kind of my job, to listen. You've no idea what cobblers the Crusaders say about you. Some say that Iyomade came to you and appointed you her herald. Others say that you died, and an honest-to-God's angel is now leading the army disguised as you. Still, others say it was just an explosion at an alchemist's lab, and I am the one spreading rumors about your powers, I wish. But, you really have changed since the Grey Garrison. It's hard to describe, but you've become kinder... Anivia waves her hand, trying to find the right word. More charismatic? More dangerous. I have a gut instinct about these things. If I didn't, I'd already be dead. You're dangerous, Commander, and by Desna, I hope you'll be dangerous to our enemies and not to us or to yourself. Tell me about yourself. I'd be happy to, but there's kind of nothing to tell. What's so interesting about me? Well, where are you from? Nowhere. I was blown in by the wind and found in a cabbage patch. Sorry, that's an old habit of mine. I don't like blabbling about my past, but You saved my skin, so I guess I kinda owe it to you not to clown around, hmm? I'm from Nidal, and I wouldn't wish my homeland on my worst enemy. You've heard of the place, I'm sure. Nidal is one of the oldest surviving countries in Avistan, having been founded during the uncounted years of the Age of Darkness, even though it is now beholden to the neighboring infernal realm of Cheliax. It retains significant autonomy to pursue its own shadowy goals. Ruled by monsters that aren't alive nor dead, and the official religion is the cult of Zon-Kuton. The deity Zon-Kuton, the Midnight Lord, the Dark Prince, the Prince of Pain, the god of darkness, envy, loss, and pain. Oh dear. I grew up in a slum, like a weed between the cobblestones. I didn't have a dad or a mom. I just had lots of aunts and uncles. My mom's cronies. No prize for guessing the kind of business she was involved in. And they gave me a set of lockpicks as soon as I could hold a spoon, and while other kids were picking their noses, I was picking locks and pockets. When I was 12, the monks of the Silent Shroud came for us. Creepy guys with their mouths sewn shut. They are the guards in Nisroch. Mom gave me to her friends, and we hid in a secret temple of Desna. I never saw my mom again. I lay low in the temple for the next few years, kept my head down. I washed floors, fetched water, listened to sermons. Funny thing, after a while I started liking Desna's teaching. But as soon as I was old enough, I was out of there. I left Nidal and got as far away as I could. Quite ragtag group you've got here, from noble to street thieves. Ah, you got that right. Only the best for you. What do you do if the knights and nobles fail to save the world? The lowlifes are our only hope. How did you meet Irabeth? I was bumming around Timon a while back, doing this and that. Desnan temples sometimes gave me odd jobs. You know, sometimes they needed people with skills like mine. On the surface, it was fine, I guess. After Nidal, the freedom of river kingdoms should have seemed like heaven. My chance to sit back and enjoy life. But I wasn't happy. There wasn't just any joy in my new life. It was all alone. No one cared about me, and I didn't care about anything or anybody either. I struggled to find a reason to drag myself out of bed every morning, tying a stone around my neck and jumping into the nearest river started to look pretty appealing. One day, I was hired to follow some fellas who the local authorities suspected were Rasmirian spies. I was stupid. I made a rookie mistake. And they caught me. It's like my body has already decided to do what my mind had been fighting, to finally put me out of my misery. Get someone else to kill me, since I didn't have the guts to do it myself. They grabbed me. I thought they'd got me on the spot, but instead they hogtied me and dragged me off. Just like an animal going to the slaughter, my only thought was, let's get this over with. They brought me to their stinking cave, threw me on their altar, and I realized who it was. Cathites, from Nidal. They tracked me down after all these years. But I didn't care anymore. Wouldn't even have cared if they'd eaten me or whatever. We all gotta go sometime, right? So I was lying there, staring at those knives pointed at me, when fate rolled the dice and I hit the jackpot. Irabeth. There she was, storming into the cave. Picture it. I'm lying on an altar with all these knife-wielding maniacs around me, and suddenly Irabeth storms in. I thought it was Iomide herself. Fierce in her shining armor, with her gleaming sword raised. She made quick work of those scumbags, chopped them up just like that. I didn't even have time to blink. She untied me, and then Anivia's face lights up as she chuckles. She looked through the papers they had on the table, and she started swearing like a sailor. So much for Iomide. How did you and Irabeth end up in Kenabres? After almost becoming a human sacrifice, I knew I never wanted to leave Irabeth's side. Desna knows. I fell for her instantly, and I fell hard. My misery was gone, and when Irabeth showed me what was in those papers, proof that the cultists had a nest in her home city, well, I offered to help without a second thought. Anivia smiled warmly. She must have figured I couldn't wait to get my revenge on the cultists, but I didn't give a damn about them. It was her. I'd go anywhere with her, even on a crusade or into the jaws of a dragon. But I took to life in Kenabris like a duck to water. I used to be an outcast wherever I went, but half of the crusaders are the same. After all, who'd volunteer to tangle with demons on the edge of the abyss? You gotta be either a goody two-shoes with too much honor and free time, or a misfit with no life out in the normal world with normal people. People come here to run away from their depths, their past from themselves, so I fit right in. What is it like living with Irabeth? It's like living. Without her, I wouldn't be. Seriously, if I were alone, I'd definitely be gone by now. Sure, sometimes we argue, can't deny that. Sometimes we bang our fists on the table and yell so loud that the walls shake, but that's all about order business. But at home, well, I'll give you an example. I've kinda always wanted to move out of that broom closet we call a house and into somewhere cozier. It ain't like they take a vow of poverty at the Eagle Watch, but every month, somehow, most of our spare money is spent on crusader business. Sure, I get mad about it, but Anivia makes a helpless gesture. It's part of why I love her so much. You know, Irabeth has that thing that matters most for a person, a purpose in life. She's always got a reason for whatever she's doing. Her whole life is in a crusade, and I just drifted around like a leaf in the wind until Desna brought us together. Now, she's the meaning of my life. So it really makes no difference if we live in a mansion or under a bush. Thank you for all your answers. Thanks for asking. Telling you all this kinda made me feel better. No, I have to go. Alrighty. Oh, you watch yourself now. Alright. Mysterious elf. Hello there. Damn it, you again, soldier. What the heck? I saw you talking to the girl hiding her face. Who was she and what did she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself, but I bet she's not a part of our army. I know all our soldiers by name and by sight. Wilshire frowns gloomily, his cordiality gone in an instant. She was looking for some elf volunteer. Wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first I thought she was a messenger from Mendiv. She definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see how it all looks mighty shifty. Quartermaster eyes you with concern. She was some sort of spy then. Well, what tent? Where are our elf volunteers? Damn it, man. Blacksmith. Not interesting. Okay. Let's see if we can find her. Leotra Hawkblade. Commander. A tall man with piercing yellow-green eyes gives you a brief nod. Let me personally congratulate you on your new title. And thank you for your time in advance. I am Leotra Hawkblade, an inquisitor of the Church of Iomide, the bringer of light. I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, young Count Deran Arende. What brings you here? I ask you to assist the Church of Iomide in an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to, but please allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps it will explain why I am calling upon you. The Inquisitor's open face instantly reveals his feelings. He frowns and looks through you, lost in his thoughts for a moment. I suppose that you have already heard about Count Orende's story? I refer to the tragedy at the Heaven's Edge estate. You're going to investigate this old case again, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of what exactly happened at the estate and how it happened. You see, Commander, I was among those sent to examine the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of old Mendev, before the world wound, and yet on that day it turned into a labyrinthine house of horrors, something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the discretion. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seemed odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why did nobody send to Kenabres for help, even though the agony spanned many hours? We found the demons dead, with their heads cut off, when we got into the estate. How were they defeated? How did the disease kill even the paladins present at the estate, who are said to be immune to any disease? If the demons had found a way to penetrate the Holy Warrior's defenses, why has this never been repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Gate? Edge. You are the only person who can help me here, Commander, because the only living witness of those events is currently serving in your army. Your army's route will take you near the very site of the tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned and sealed with potent magic throughout all these years, and only the Count has the power to break the seal. He is unlikely to invite an Inquisitor inside, and in any case he won't like me sniffing around his family seat. But if you, as his commander, expresses your wish to visit the estate, he will be obliged to fulfill it, and I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are 100 ways, 1,000 paths, and myriad loopholes in human lives that the forces of evil can use to their advantage. I'm not sure which one of those led the demons to the gates of Heaven's Edge, but I do know it wasn't a simple raid the kind crusaders face every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful entity. And that is why I'm asking for your help. We cannot be sure that such a tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. Tell me what happened at Heaven's Edge. About 10 years ago, several powerful demons managed to penetrate the Wardstone barrier and committed mass murder of all the guests who attended the feast in celebration of young Darren's birthday. The unknown magical disease they had brought wiped out the whole estate in less than a day. That was not a unique case in itself. The demons had attempted such raids on Mendavian lands before, but they had never dared target such a well-protected place. The Arende family was exceptionally rich. The estate was protected by elite bodyguards. There were several strong and righteous paladins among the guests. Moreover, the revered Nestrin, Duran's tutor, was one of the most powerful priests of Yomidare in the vicinity. All of them died. Nonetheless, except for the young Count, who had suddenly manifested his outstanding sacred healing powers. Was that a divine miracle or a curse? That remains to be seen. You've already been to the estate several times. What do you expect to find now? I was a young and inexperienced Inquisitor when I first visited Heaven's Edge 10 years ago. My skills have improved significantly since then, and I've paid dearly for that. Liotre makes a vague gesture, pointing at his scars. My arsenal includes many spells and techniques dedicated to gathering information about people and events. Almost all of them require me to be physically present in the place where the event in question happened. That is why I must return to Heaven's Edge. Why can't you just search the estate yourself without involving me? Oh, dude, he just said that he needs the young Count to break the barrier spell. Dude, listen. The estate is abandoned and sealed with powerful containment enchantments that only the Count himself can lift. Yes, he already said. This is not the main reason, however. Oh, okay. The main reason is that Count Arende is not officially under investigation by the Inquisition, so I couldn't just break into his house even if I found a way to bypass the spells. This is a serious matter. Léotre de France. A matter that threatens the reputation of the entire Church of Iomide, and my organization in particular. We made more than enough unforgivable mistakes during the Third Crusade and are still dealing with their consequences. Your presence will give my investigation the necessary legitimacy, Commander. But there is more. In addition to getting official permission, I'd also like to bring an independent third-party investigator to the case. Someone independent, but well-respected, and you fit this role perfectly. Did you question Dorian himself? I did, but the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about the incident due to severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning, when they appeared at the celebration to announce the onset of the plague and mock their victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother, Countess Helena. That was all he would tell me. Léotre pauses. We had found the young Count sleeping like a log on the floor in one of the rear chambers, having drunk about half the family's wine cellar all by himself. There is no reason to disbelieve him on that matter. So you suspect that Dorian is hiding something? That he's to blame for the tragedy? I deliberately refuse to entertain any theories or suspicions, so that it doesn't affect the investigation. There is a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice, and prejudice is married to failure. I can only tell you that Count Arende wasn't suffering from demonic possession, the most common malaise in our country at the time. Prelate Ulrun himself examined the boy right after the tragedy, and he didn't sense anything awry with him. Fine. I will help you. What do you need me to do? Léotre bows his head to you with exceptional reverence. Thank you, Commander. Now I ask you to speak to the Count and tell him that you wish to see Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence right away. I will join your escort when it's time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I will also require your help during the investigation. You will have to follow me, observing my actions as an independent witness. He's very reasonable. He's not an inquisitor that would randomly kill someone. I like him. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me. I will remain here for a while. Are you one of Prelate Huldrun's followers? Léotre's face freezes for a moment. Good. He doesn't like him. But he nods. Yes, of course. What is your opinion on his atrocities? Léotre is silent for a while. Usually, people reveal such things about themselves only to their confessor, not to some curious stranger. Still, I did ask for your help, and that imposes certain obligations upon me. Let me put it like this. I spent enough years by Prelate Hulrun's side to learn how to keep him from going over the line. The prelate is an extraordinary man, but he has fallen prey to his own paranoia and monumental sense of responsibility, which has gradually eroded his razor-sharp mind. He has witnessed so many hideous, dark moments that he now sees them in every shadow. Yet his strength was and still is a shield for all the people of Medivh. That is my opinion. His comrades and advisors are necessary to prevent him from making unforgivable mistakes. Where were you during the attack on Canabres? I was on the hunt. A very successful one, but as often happens in life, this minor success was a mere harbinger of a larger failure. If I hadn't been so far away from Canabres on the day of the attack, I might have been able to help my comrades and prevent a number of deaths. Thank you for your answer. It is not an easy topic for me. I'd prefer not to discuss this again. Tell me more about yourself, Inquisitor. I want to know who I'm dealing with. I am Ulfrin by birth, but I have lived in Mendev for most of my life, dedicating myself to the service of the Inheritor. My warrior brethren mostly worship Gurum, but I've never been eager to fight for the sake of battle alone. I was a good fighter in my early youth and could easily be best most of my peers, but I didn't enjoy showing off my skills. Victory is bland on its own. Purpose adds flavor to war. Yes, purpose definitely adds flavor to war. Gorum, also known as Our Lord in Iron, is a god of battle, above all other pursuits. Kratos. Teal'c. Proofs. It is said, Christopher Judge of course, that he would rust away in nothingness if there ever came a time with no more conflicts to be fought. His faithful believe he's present in every iron weapon of war that is forged. I can't say that I have always been a faithful sword of Eomide. Back in my mercenary days, fate brought me to the borders of Mendev, where I spent quite a long time among the Crusaders, fighting shoulder to shoulder with my righteous comrades in arms, and watching demons commit their atrocities. Eventually it led me to something I had been seeking my whole life, purpose and faith. That is how I found my calling. Even though it may be hard at times, I've never regretted my decision. I have to go. Interesting. So we're going to end this episode now. The next episode we're going to probably talk to Social and all our companions. And then we're going to start the game. Almighty Crusade. After 15 hours of gameplay. Oh, I love it.